Sarah, and I'm going to be talking about how to harvest nettles. The first thing you need to know about harvesting nettles is that they sting. Now, the stinging hairs on the nettles are powered by the plant's plant only when it has active water. So as soon as the plant starts to wilt, the hairs no longer have the strength to sting. So to protect myself from the nettles, I'm going to be wearing a jack shirt. And I'm also going to be wearing gardening gloves. The jack shirt protects my arms, and the gardening gloves protect my hands. Nettles are perennial. They're not annual, they are perennial. And that means that if you wreck the root structure, they might not come back next year and you won't be able to harvest them again. Now, nettles are supposed to be harvested at the point when the older leaves are just starting to die and the younger growth, and before the younger growth starts coming. So you can see here that the leaves are just starting to die and that the younger growth is also just starting in some areas under the plant. Some of the nettles in the area have been eaten by goats. Those are not the ones you want. You want the ones with the nice straight stems. Nettles grow in a lot of areas, mostly moister areas such as along stream banks. But they also like areas that have been disturbed, such as areas that have had buildings fall down, or cleared forest areas that are moist. You can also see that we have other plants growing in the area, like mullein, which you can use for yellow dye, and there's also thistles as well. To harvest the nettles, I'm going to be using a knife and cutting the stems off close to the ground. So I'm going to start with the nearest clump and go for it. So I'm just going to cut it off about 1 inch above the ground, and then I will form a bundle which I will tie up and then transport to where we are going to be retting the nettles. If you look at the stems closely, you can actually see that they have some sort of thorny hairs on them as well. If you look closely at the stems closer to the leaves, you can also see the hairs. And I would recommend wearing leather gloves, not cotton gloves. Some people might find it easier to use a knife instead of scissors for cutting down the nettles. Scissors would be good if you weren't unable to get a very sharp knife. If your knife is dull, it's really hard to cut through the nettle stems because they're quite thick and tough. Also be careful when you're cutting them down that you don't cut yourself, or have your knife slip and cut somebody else if you're working with them. If you do accidentally end up getting stung by the nettles, the plants that take away the sting usually grow fairly close to where the nettles are. If you don't have any of the plants, which are plantain, dock, and dandelion, to take away the sting, you can always use lavender oil or crushed lavender from a plant. course, when you're harvesting, try not to pull up the roots, because the nettles will regrow next year. Taking out this year's stems before they die back will also mean that you'll have less dead stems and stuff to clean up next year, and it'll be easier for the plants to regrow. And hopefully you'll get more and straighter stems. That's funny. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bundle up the nettles so that we can take them back to the house and root them. And I'm just going to use a piece of binder twine, and I'm going to bundle them, all these nettles, up into a bundle. Make sure I have all the stems. And then I just bring it around. I have it in a loop, and I'll just tuck the end through the loop.